All right, I'm gonna do this. It's a short one. I'm gonna make more of these, and a lot of times when people in general decide to make the commitment of going all out and just doing a friggin' video, the other person cuts out. Well, if you do that, you do that. So, Irfan, it's up to you. And I think it took me a lot of deciphering, but if that is your real name, because I'm going to tell you right now, if those are your pictures and that's your real name, I'm not saying that's not possible. And that's why I kept getting confused. All right. Like, okay, so are you a soy boy or from the West, or are you a Muslim from the East? Well, it does appear that you're a Muslim from way East. And I'm glad if that's the case. Won't get into why, but there's a lot of irony in this cause that you're kinda, sorta born into, but not really, assuming you were born Muslim. I'm not making any absolute statements about you. I don't fully know. I didn't send Mossad after you to find out. It was a little bit of deductive reasoning with some chance. Also, let me get something out of the way. The number should not have been 300,000. It should have been 300. I don't remember how I got that confused, but there were, just numerically speaking, that's not possible that 300,000 people in the world died at the same time in any way. I don't remember exactly what was doing. All I know is I was voice texting at the time and distracted. Oh. All right, so I'm going to do this quick. I'm going to make this a quick one. And if you watch this, you watch this. If you don't, you don't. Hopefully somebody else does. If not, what the hell? Voice practice. So you are not ready to believe. By the way, I have another video I put together where I'm breaking down all those bullshit, cliche, misquoted, and in some cases outright made up. I actually found some made up quotes from Menachem, one of them from Menachem Begin. Begin, there's room for criticism, by the way. Just like with everyone who, so we're not going to talk about Begin right now. I'm sure you look forward to doing that later, and we can. Basically, I'm guessing you guys go after the biggest historical peacenik of the era that actually held office, because this guy was Ben Gurion was a cream puff, and especially by today's standards, considering the shit that Israelis have dealt with. So I'm just going to deal with what you wrote here. I'm going to keep it short, and we'll deal with more later. Okay, so here you are saying, you are not ready to believe in a Jew that was close to Ben Gurion, says, shaking my head. By the way, if I sound like a Jewish nemesis of some superhero or something like that, that's just because I'm trying to keep my voice relatively quiet. I'm not deliberately sound. If I listen to I made a short one, and I listen to my voice, I'm like, fuck. I don't like me now. I'm just trying to keep my voice down. I'm not trying to sound coy. Okay, maybe a little bit, but that's just how I normally talk. I can be. I am a bit of an asshole at times. Full disclosure. I see you said, okay. So shaking my head. Then Ben Gurion said, but you believe bullshits from your own book that proves Palestine belonged to the Jews. Okay, Goldsmith. Goldsmith. He was one of Ben Gurion's adversaries. I know you think that Zionists are all under one united Illuminati pyramid, and there's a guy on top, and we all take orders from the one top down. I understand, because you're Arab Muslims. That's kind of how your countries are, typically. Let's face it, you guys have never been particularly good at keeping democracies together, at the very least. And I don't mean like democracies in the pure sense of the word. I mean just like a typical parliamentary thing, Sometimes you've done it kind of. And I already know what you can say. You're not a democracy. Save it for another time. Irfan, listen. Nobody went to the UN and said, you got to give us this land because the Bible says it's ours. You know who the Bible matters to? When I say that, I mean, meaning the stuff in Hebrew and Aramaic. Okay, I'm not talking about. You should. I hope you could have figured that out on your own. Okay. You know who the Bible is authoritative to? Us. Us. In the Talmud, we have the 3 oaths. You'd better know what the 3 oaths are if you're going around quoting the neutered karta. I'm not very mature sometimes. I call them the neutered karta, okay? Judge me. It's fine. Now, they quote the 3 oaths out of context all the time. I'm not going to quote them verbatim. You can look it up. And when we were kicked out of the land, we wrote down the 3 oaths. Basically, it says under what conditions we can reacquire Eretz Yisrael. Okay, Irfan, this is not going to age well for you guys. First, forget about the fact that you are making the false claim, and you better know that we have never gone to the world community and said, it's in the Bible, give it to us. No, never. We knew we came from there in part because of the Bible. However, there has never been a time in human history until a few decades after the creation of the State of Israel where it was even controversial. Good luck. Go find a Muslim cleric from the 1800s or before 1947 even. Let's find one. Let's find one. You speak some Arabic, right? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't. Okay? Now, one of the things that we are at a disadvantage for is that you can go look this shit up and I can't. We have to rely on translators, and that's a bitch. Okay, like I spent a lot of time on the Ben Gurion quotes. It's time consuming. We're doing this in the era of the internet. I couldn't imagine if I had been doing this when I was a teenager. Yeah, I'm a little up there in years. So I'm very careful when I quote the hadiths in the Quran, because I know that there are a lot of people who misquote them. I've seen it plenty of times. My favorite ones are the ones that they accuse you of being idol worshippers. You're not. Okay. You just got a crazy, messed up prophet, charlatan. But he didn't lead you into idolatry. He did a lot of other messed up stuff, but that wasn't one of his crimes. But they quote the Quran, usually the Quran, sometimes the hadiths, and I know those quotes are bullshit, so I don't use them. Because I don't like to lie. I know you think I do. But it's not my style, and you're going to contradict me, that's fine. I'm telling you what I know to be true. You don't know that to be true, and you already think you know the answer to this, that it is true. Okay, cool. I don't care. Just like I don't care what you think of the Torah. I don't care what you think of the Jewish scriptures, and I don't care what you think of our religion. You are evangelical Muslim. The nature of your religion is evangelical, and that's why you get butthurt when people make fun of your prophet. We don't. Because it's outsiders making fun of us, and we're used to it anyway. All this ties in together with our other conversations, so it's hard for me not to get off the trail. But here we go. About revisionism. Nowhere is recorded hundreds of thousands. I already covered that. Yes, I should have said 300. You should look up why Guy bin Smith, shaking my head, was killed with the other 5,000 people. I do know why. It was because Sharif was allegedly molested. And of course, they went through a judiciary process where they stacked up evidence. No, I'm just kidding. A Jew was accused. That they didn't have to do that. Follow the logic, and according to your logic values, it's all right when Jews are killing someone for someone Straw man, motherfucker. I mean, I don't mean to throw insults at you, motherfucker, but you did use the word Jew as an insult many times and say what you Jews do. So if you don't mind, my sensitivity meter is a little broken. Okay. Now, I have never said that. As a matter of fact, I have praised Israel for by a president of our country. It's very shameful. We're not proud of it, but we won't lie about it. For the fact that there was a rape committed by a president of our country. And do you know who put him away? Look it up. Guess what his religion was? Huh? The judge that sentenced him to prison. Guess what his religion was? And after you do that, guess what his race was? Can you guess? Any idea? I'll give it away. But look it up anyway. He was a Muslim. He's one of our Palestinians. He's one of the Palestinians that wouldn't take an external Palestinian state to save his life. I'm sure he likes the idea in principle. I don't blame him. But he also knows what kind of life that would give him and his family, and he's not stupid. Doesn't really want to take a chance that his kids are going to get thrown off roofs if one of them ends up being gay, that kind of thing. Or if he doesn't like the party in charge, if he's going to get shot. Because I'm sorry, I know you think we made Hamas do that stuff, and yeah, you're going to accuse us of propping up Hamas. We'll talk about that shit later. Okay. So your revisionism. It wasn't revisionism, I just fucked up with the number. So no, I have never, ever said it's okay when a Jew just kills people. And you probably read those fake quotes from the Talmud that says it's okay for Jews to kill Gentiles. It's not. It doesn't say that. You didn't quote the Talmud. I think you scolded me earlier for saying that you did. I actually didn't say you did. Go back and read it again. That's okay. I got some of the shit you said wrong too. So, full disclosure. Okay. Reasons. I'm not editing this, right, by the way, so hopefully my pauses don't fuck this up, but it's bloody late for me and early. So no, I'm sorry, Irfan, but I don't believe that there is no excuse to kill you, but the ones... See, here's what you avoid every time. And I've done it every time someone brings up, oh, what did the children of Gaza do wrong? Nothing. They're kids. Unless you mean the 17, 15-year-olds carrying guns and hurtling grenades. They're combatants. You guys, when I say you guys, you're not you're not Gazan. You're not even from that region. You're not even Arab, it looks. You're definitely not Arab. So this really isn't... I probably should be telling you, this is not your concern, fuck off. But you know what? It's a conversation. So no, during World War II, percentage-wise and raw numbers, scores of German children and women were killed. And this, I'm not gonna stop bringing this up because you're in an odd spot. And I have argued this with you guys for, when I say you guys, I mean the people on the Watermelon Tribe. Okay, white people on the Watermelon Tribe that can't wait to install Karl Marx and don't have any idea that their Muslim allies are going to kill them in a... My God, people never learn. World War II. I can bring up a bunch of wars in the Arab world. I can bring up Iran and how many Iraqi women and children they killed. But they were no more at fault than the Allies and the bombings that happened. They were no more at fault than Israel is. Even though I hate the Iranian government, as I hate the smell of sewage. A little secret about me, I actually don't like the smell of sewage. I know, it's kind of weird. However, I won't fault any government for doing what a government does, and that is attack someone who's attacking them. And y'all did attack us. I keep saying y'all. You're not Arab. You are not Arab. You're not even, let alone Palestinian. It's so hard. We're in a war, so it's almost impossible not to other people during conversations like this. I'm not apologizing, by the way. I've just kind of put myself in check. Reason, but it's not all right when you Jews are killed for some reason. No, 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 no. Johnny, sit down. Okay? The same reasons it's not okay as when we do. Okay? Um, it, October 7th was not okay. It would not have been okay if we did it in the reverse. Not if we did it to Gaza. Not if we did it to Syria. Not if we did it to Jordan. Not if we did it to Egypt. Doesn't matter what country. That, and I know you probably don't believe there were rapes. I'm sorry for your feelings, but there were. But let's just pretend in the fantasy watermelon tribe fantasy world of illusion that this was the first army that invaded like this in history and didn't rape any women when they had them available. Okay, let's just pretend. Dragging those hostages, civilians, almost all of them. Even if only 2 of them were, though, or 1. They took a civilian, knowing they were civilians. And if Israel ever did that, never. Never. So don't try to tell me I'm special pleading. Do not accuse me of having double standards. I will shove that right back in your face. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be all like Guido on you here, but it's bullshit. Okay? It's complete bullshit. Let me just sip through this. No. So, no, your accusation here is utter bullshit. Okay. Your values are consistent as diarrhea. No. I don't care what you think because you got my values wrong, and I think you know you're getting my values wrong. I think there is a possibility in this that you are a good faith actor that's just wrong, but I don't think so. I think you know damn well you're lying. I think that's what Muslims typically do during war, especially. And you perceive yourself as being involved in this, even though you have no actual stake in it. My family's in Israel. I'm going back there at some point. I got Jewish guilt like all fuck because I'm not over there. Not that they'd let me serve in the army at my age with the responsibilities I have, but it doesn't matter. So no, Irfan. Take that accusation and shove it up your self-righteous ass. I am consistent. And you can say I'm not all you want. When a country attacks another country, and then they take hostages and they say, we're going to do it again, you have no choice. You bomb the living fuck out of them until they have no power to, and you don't stop until they have no power to do it again. Because Israel's first responsibilities is not your people. It's our people. And your responsibilities as a Pakistani is Pakistanians. Or whatever European country you're living in. Whatever it is. Whatever one you have your loyalty to, huh? We'll say it like that. That's nationalism, and if you have problems with nationalism, please go fuck yourself. I know Islamism, after they broke up with Nazism, and they did, when it wasn't working out, Islam left their boyfriend, the Nazis, for the communists. It was pragmatic, I get it. But then again, the communists were flirting with them pretty friggin' hard after Khrushchev died. I have big, strong arm. I hold up hammer. You, come here. You touch it. And of course, it wouldn't take long at all before, sooner or later, the now single Muslim world was like, I don't think I can touch that big, strong hammer and that big, strong arm when I'm all oily like this. They were shaking their ass. Hey, oh, I got much too much oil. It's all over me. Oh, and I know this is awkward, but, you weren't exactly faithful. It was us together. All those hot nights in the desert, oil coming up out of... And on a personal note, honey, I just want you to know it was really good. And I hope you feel the same way. So yeah, Islam dumped their boyfriend, the Nazis, when he kind of didn't have anything to give them anymore, like a good bimbo, but I got no problem with bimbos as long as they're honest about it. And Islam is a giant bimbo, whore out to whatever, A lot of people, funny that you guys accuse us of that. It's hilarious. Sometimes I kind of wish we were. And they ran off with the communists and imitate after making. This is funny. You made your motifs, and they all look like the fucking Reich Adler. The fucking banners. A lot of them originally were like fucking red and black and white. Looked like one of them. One of the early Palestinian. Syrian national flags. It looked like a knockoff swastika. It's like the same colors. Amazing. So, enough of the history lesson. You're either not going to believe that, or you already know it and you're going to deny it. I don't know which one. Okay. And an explorer, persecuted, expelled. Wait. Your values consist explore why the Moroccan Revolution in 15th. Also, explore why the Jews are prosecuted. I think you mean persecuted. And expelled so many times in history by various kingdoms. Okay, this is another thing. You guys are trying to actually talking about flirting. Now you're flirting with the white nationalists in the West because you already got the left, and now you're flashing your tits to the right. And they repeat this line all the time. But here's what that line is you just said. If we were persecuted by that many people, we must have had it coming, because you have nothing on us as a collective. Oh, you'll find individual Jews who did fucked up things. But you want to talk about inconsistent as diarrhea? You'll never let me find a Muslim that did something fucked up, or even 5 or 6 of them, and I'll never be able with you to get away with saying the Muslims did that. Okay? And you know it. And you fucking know it. But you, oh look, some Jews did something wrong. But you don't say some. No. Some, that kind of fucks up what you're trying to do. We're a collective to you. In a way, we are. We're a nation. I know you don't recognize us as a nation, but we always have been. We're not a religion. And you tried to do what they all do, and that's gatekeep over what we are. No. You can say whatever the fuck you want. There's nothing we can do about it, but we are exactly what we've always been. We are what we were before the nation was destroyed. I still can't get past that point that you're trying to... You won't actually go right out and say... I'm going back to the beginning up here. You won't actually go right out and say that Jews were not a nation in what is Israel today, when it was Judea, and before that the Kingdom of Israel, and Ephraim. You don't go out and say that because you know it'll make an ass out of you. Oh, some Arabs do. You've heard their propaganda and that's what you're kicking, but you're being very careful not to say that. You're simply making fun of the notion by saying the Bible proves it. Well, I already touched that. This is taking too long. Let's run through this. Expelled many times in history by various kingdoms. Why don't you tell me, Irfan? Maybe you do in the next one. Let's see. Once or twice is acceptable. That repeated constantly, you should ask kingdoms. No, wait, you didn't even say what we did. See, this is another thing. You did this somewhere else too. Oh, you did this with us stealing land. See, in justice, when it comes to justice, whether one is being even-handed or not, you don't just have to have a crime. You have to have a location and a victim. Sometimes you can get away with not having the location, but you have to have a victim. You don't. You don't. Who was the land stolen from, huh? I've put that challenge up to more people than I know. They never make good with it. They start insulting me at that point. What else are they going to do? They're not going to admit them, right? All right. Once or twice, what is acceptable, huh? What is acceptable? What do we do once or twice is acceptable? Maybe I misread it. Explored why the Jews are prosecuted, you mean persecuted, expelled so many times in history by various kingdoms. Once or twice is acceptable, but the repeat... Once or twice of expelling us is acceptable, but repeated, so it's our fault. Huh? And by the way, I think you're going to say the 105 or 109. They probably got that shit from you, huh? By the way, we were not expelled from 100 or more countries. Name them, or shut up, okay? Trust me, like the stolen land thing, when it said name it or shut up, Same thing goes for this. Tell me the countries, and then tell me what they expelled us over. Here we go. Ask what is wrong with you, not with others. No. You tell me what I did. You said nothing. You gave me absolutely, positively no crime that we're guilty of. You only said what was done to us and you mispronounced it or misspelled it. Okay. About Hitler and the Holocaust is clear. That was a crime. Aw, you're melting my heart. Irfan, I mean, you think what Hitler did was a crime? No shit. Why don't you... You don't really give a shit, though, let's be honest. I mean, hell. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if he would have wiped out the Ashkenazi, it would probably take another 200 years before we got the land back. Because then we would have relied on the Sephardic and the Mizrahi, and they were really not in that kind of position. Of course, if they knew what you guys were about to do to them, they probably would have made themselves be in that position. But the Ashkenazi had acquired talents over those few hundred years up north, and mostly involving money. And then when you guys attacked, well, that German military shit from World War I came in handy too, and Russian. No, we are not talking about this bullshit that's where we're originally from, and I appreciate you Khazaring me after I begged you to do it so many times. Thanks. You should be embarrassed to believe that, by the way. But we'll talk about that another time, maybe. That was a crime against race and religion. Whatever you do, don't acknowledge us as a nation. Oh, no, that would fuck things up for you. It really wouldn't, though. I'll never forget the first time I heard a former Muslim turned atheist say that. I'm like, you're telling a Jew what a Jew is, motherfucker. No. Yes, it's not a religion. Karl Marx, born Lutheran, a Jew. We have to own him. We don't like it. Fuck him. But we have to own him. So, Mendel Dinez, a Jew, did not practice the Jewish religion, but his mother was Jewish. Wouldn't have even mattered if his mother practiced the Jewish religion at all. If your mother is a Jew and she leaves the religion, or if you convert, if it's a woman and she then leaves the religion later on, she's still a Jew, and any kids she has are going to be Jews too. Any girls she has, their kids are going to be Jews, etc. And you don't get to preside over Jewish law. Nobody named you to the Sanhedrin, and even still, you didn't get the vote. The majority, you don't get to change Jewish law. Jewish law is that we're a nation. I don't care if you recognize it or not. That's all the more reason we have to push back against you. Because if you choose not to recognize us, that's fine. We don't have to recognize you. See? By the way, nobody taught that until the Russians, I think, were the first ones to start saying that we're not a nation. We're a race. And the Germans also said that. We're not a race. Sorry, we're not. If you can't convert to a race. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, you see, it is religion. No. In the ancient world, Hittites were like this. Egypt was like this. I don't think Babylon was. Phoenicians were. If you were an outsider and they let you in, you did it through their temples. We're the remnant of that world. And no, we don't change just because the rest of you did. We are not followers of Muhammad. We're not followers of Jesus. It wouldn't matter. Nothing Jesus said undermined that anyway. Paul did, but fuck him. So, I've enjoyed this, but this is going on too long. Let's zip through this, shall we? That was a crime against race and religion. No, it was a crime against our nation. Our exiled people in the diaspora. You know what diaspora means? Look it up. All documented in racial law of Nazi Germany. No shit. It was all read out loud on the microphone. They didn't even deny it in Nuremberg. So you don't have to virtue signal for me on this. I think you feel like you have to, because actually now I know why. Because lots of people in the Muslim world do. No, I would have assumed you believe like you do with this. I hope you're being for real. And you can use the term anti-Semitism in modern days and societies, but you cannot use it for kingdoms in feudalism. It's with an F. Anti-Semitism is a new word. It was invented by a German, Hans blah, 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 I don't remember. It's somewhere around 1885. So, well, yes, you can. The word was invented later, but that doesn't mean you can't use it if it's applicable in advance. Do you realize how stupid that sounds? This means I can't say that... what would be something that was... I can't say it looks like somebody had pneumonia in the year 500. I mean, it existed then. They might have had any disease that we learned about later on, and we came up with, or any chemical. We can say oxidized when we're talking about something that somebody wrote about that happened to metal. Get out of here. Get out of here. Think about this shit sometimes, okay? I've said blunders like that too, so I'm not going to give you too much shit. Europe was Christian. Thanks. It almost wasn't, actually. I actually am of the paternal ancestry of the invaders, who were also... No, I'm not saying that here. Look at my last name, figure it out. All right. Europe was Christian, Ottoman Empire, Muslim. Thanks, I needed you to tell me that. The Caliphate, the same. Okay. Many Muslim countries, Afghan, Arabia, Pakistan, backwards. Yes, that's true. And not civilized as the Western world. Yeah, I know. But that's not because of religion. You're going to... Wait, I'm not even looking. You're going to blame us. Let's see. Oh, you didn't. Let's see. Jews and religion. It's more about culture and spelled... No, it's not. No, it's not. Christianity was actually worse than Islam at one point. And it was because of religion. Everything they did in their barbarism, with the exception of some of the tortures they did, they learned when they were pagans. But a lot of that shit they learned as Christians too. You guys crucify people, for God's sake. The world had stopped doing that, and Muhammad brought it back. Don't tell me it's not because of religion. Get out of here. Jews and Muslims are very similar. There's similarities. Well, I mean, we should be similar. Muhammad plagiarized our religion with a little bit of Christianity. So of course we're similar. No shit. He literally stole our lore and inverted it with the Akedah. Look it up. Akedeah. Okay. When we speak about Jews from the Middle East, the difference are Jews who came at the beginning of the 20th century. They are mostly Europeans with European values, so... Well, they're not. Actually, Europeans rejected us, and they always would. Oh, sure, it gets good for about a generation or two, but eventually goes full circle. Because people don't like outsiders. They have their own ways, especially when we become successful. I get it, actually. I get it. Here's the thing. Jews are actually better at this than you think. Putting yourself in the mind of your enemy. And understanding. And I touched on that earlier when I talked about you guys. Jews, most of us understand what it's like to be a 20-year-old German who was going to get married, but now he lost everything because of hyperinflation in the economy. And while he warms himself with money burning in a trash can that's now worthless, thinking about his fiancée that left him for somebody else, God forbid if that was a Jew. Wouldn't wish that on anyone, really. And then he starts hearing people say... So I heard it was a Jew that evicted you. And he said, yeah, you know what, I guess he was. I didn't think about that. Yeah, well, you should think about that. Because it happened from time to time. And then you think, wait a minute, he evicted me? I'm German. The Jew evicted me. I can only imagine the emotions. Real talk. Real talk. I'm sympathetic as far as that goes. And yes, if I was German, especially if I was young, I would be like, what the fuck? This is my country, and an outsider evicted me. And then, once somebody said, they made Germany sign the Versailles Treaty. They made us go into World War One. You couldn't look shit up online. So when you heard it too many times and you had your emotions going apeshit, I get it. Now, you can take an afternoon off, pour a fucking cup of coffee, and do some fucking research. I know it's tedious. If you are not backward, you won't, as European guy claim. Is English your first language? I'm not being mean. I'm really asking. The land on the base of religion. If you are not backward, and you won't, as European guy, claim the land on base of religion books. I already shot that down. That's not how he claimed it. Sorry. And by the way, no Muslim ever denied it. No Christian ever denied it. No pagan ever denied it before you guys killed them, you know. It was not a controversial thing. No, I'm going to say it one more fucking time. We did not go to the UN and say, hey, look, it's in the Bible. You got to give it to us. Sorry, we didn't do it. So put that away. You're making yourself look kind of stupid. Sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but you really do when you say that. By now, you should know that the Bible is not the title deed insofar as when we were granted statehood. We would have had no international legal justification. So learn why. Learn what we based our right on the land from, because it wasn't that. The Bible's for us. It's not for you. We would never take our holy book and go to you. Even if you claim, even the Christians claim to believe in it. We never did. We never did. These are the varieties of backwardness. Well, we didn't do that, so maybe it is. However, Muslims have claimed the authority of the Quran many times. Huh? I wonder how many quotes we would get in the country you're from, north of India. I'm tired. Fucking Pakistan, huh? I wonder how many people quoted the Quran as the warrant for Pakistan's existence. Huh? I know that they quoted the Quran when they tried to annex Europe. I know when they annexed Sicily they did. That was a long time ago, but who cares? So no, we didn't do that, so I'm not even going to defend it because we didn't do it. Didn't do it in 1947. We didn't do it in 1910, in 1936. And we're not even doing it now. It's a done deal now. Sorry that you don't like that done deal, but it's a done deal, with or without biblical justification. And we never made that case. You claim the land based on religion books, that you should be embarrassed to say that. When you choose only Islamists to be backward, when it tells you about your psychological problem, no, it's a sliding scale. Compared to you, we're not. I suppose Switzerland, before they were overrun by Muslims, and their rape stats went through the roof. Sorry, but that's a fact. Sweden. And Germany. Thank God Germany is finally getting that under control. We're in love with Germany again, by the way. Most of us. We're back to where we were before all that happened. It's wonderful. It's like getting back together with an old lover when everything went wrong. Kind of like that. Make all the jokes you want. Okay. No. I'm sorry. The entire Muslim world, including Dubai, including like Jordan, and now Turkey, is backward compared to Israel. Somebody already listed them in the thread. I'm not doing it now. This is too long. You can go read it yourself. It's in the beginning part right before I entered it, and then there's another one right after. Okay? No. Objectively speaking, when it comes to backward barbarianism, you got us beat. It's a fact. That's true for Saudi Arabia, although I got some high hopes for the prince. I think he's a reasonable guy. He's also not stupid. He's got to do things slow. He's also not stupid. He's got to do things slow. So no, it's not my psychological problems. It's a fact. You actually have psychological problems if you don't, if you think Israel's comparable to the Muslim world in terms of the Muslims not being more barbaric than Israel by a long slide. Sorry, you're the one with the psychological problems. And I shouldn't have to list them. Everyone knows them. We're not living in 1985 when you have to go to the library, okay? You can find this shit out yourself. We can make a discussion on, but the fact is that Israel expelled Arabs, Muslims, and Christians from their homes to make a Jewish majority state of Israel. No. No. Show me one person. One. Before the Arabs attacked in 1948. One by name. And it has to be verifiable. It just so happens that my wife met plenty of people that actually were Arabs, and they came back and they did show this was my property. I do have the deed to it. I forgot what they call the deed. They don't call it a deed. The land, they were called dumas before that, and okay. And they said, okay, do you want the land back or you want the money? And when they said how much it was, the Arabs said, oh, the money. This guy now runs grocery stores, I believe it is, in Israel. So don't tell us we treat our Arabs badly either. It's bullshit. Not. The fact is, the Arab League lied. When they attacked Israel, they didn't say, oh my God, oh my Allah, they're expelling these poor Palestinians. They didn't give a fuck about Palestinians, just like the Arab world doesn't give a fuck about Palestinians now. The Nakba meant something different. It meant, oh my God, we lost. How'd that happen? That's a tragedy. It's a travesty. We lost. We have to think about this. Why did that happen? So that we never, because we lost to Jews, no less. That's what Nakba meant. They didn't change the meaning for another 40, 50 years. I think it was about 40. Nope. You can keep claiming it all day, but you're either lying or you're spreading somebody else's lies. And if you want to prove me wrong, show me a verifiable person. And name somebody. Name someone. And I also want the latitude and longitude of the dumas that was taken away from him. Because at that point, you're going to embarrass yourself. Okay, let's wrap it up. Other Arabs didn't do that when they proclaimed independence. We'll get to that later. Just as Jews executed ethnic cleansing to make a Jewish majority. No, didn't. No. You attacked. I'm just going to say you. You attacked and you lost. See, you didn't think you were going to lose. So instead, you would have had a Muslim majority in your partition. You're not Palestinian, but fuck it. You would have had a Muslim majority. Because, by the way, how many Jews are in Palestinian territories controlled? And don't say the West Bank. First of all, there is no West Bank. There's Judea and Samaria. And the areas allotted to Muslims, despite the fact that Israel has no legal obligation to abide in Oslo because of what they did. We'll get to that later. Because you misrepresented the aftermath of Oslo grotesquely. But we'll get to that, if you like. And if we don't, I'm going to post this on here anyway. And unless the OP girl kicks me off, she might. So nope, sorry, you're wrong. No, you can say something's the facts all you want, but you ain't shown me shit. And I think you know you ain't shown me shit. See, here's the thing about the person debating. I don't think you'll ever hear me say, those are the facts. Because you know what that's worth? Jack and shit. And Jack left town. Okay? I love that. I got that from Bruce Campbell. But yeah. No. You see, it's like whenever a used car salesman say you can trust me. Well, I'm going to be the judge of that. These are the facts. I don't give a fuck if you think those are the facts. They're not. And I challenge what you foolishly call facts. Prove it. Prove it, or shut up. And by the way, I'm being very harsh with you. You be harsh with me. I don't give a fuck. I hope you do one of these at me. I think it'd be great. And you talk to me. Do it when you're in your worst mood. Totally cool with that. I got thick skin. Okay, let's wrap it up. Just use executed ethnic cleansing. No, we didn't. The Arabs did everything to make that possible. All your idiotic construction about Muslims are your poor way to justify the sins. No. Muslim majority countries are ass fucking backwards. And and other people listed them off. I'm not going to waste time on it. I will later if you want, I suppose. No. Muslim majority countries are a hellscape, especially now. Turkey is on there. Turkey, which used to be the Switzerland. The only one that's saving grace right now is Morocco is starting to improve. United Arab Emirates. Haven't gotten any report on Egypt lately. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know about all of them. Nope, sorry. I'm sorry that you think that me calling out reality is me only saying something to justify Israel's sins. No. When Israel sins, I'll fucking... I mentioned one earlier. When Israel sins, I'll fucking tell you. Okay. The Jews expelled Arabs. No, we didn't. We did later, after they attacked, and started Jewish exodus from Arab countries. Oh. We started a Jewish exodus from Arab countries? Well, more on that on the next episode. Good morning to you, Irfan. Good night and good night. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm a complete boomer. I say shit like that. Look, real talk, I hope you went all the way through with this. Real talk, I hope you got thick enough skin for this. Because reality, and this might surprise you, I actually am interested in having a very real conversation. Okay? And I don't even care if you want to call me Jew in a derogatory way. You already have several times. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't know if I name called you. I probably did. I'm not going to apologize because you did it too. Let's just be a couple pro wrestlers yelling at each other and see where it goes from there. Huh? That's my suggestion. Right. Well, salam alaikum. I will talk to you later. You don't speak Arabic, do you?